All right, first video off the blocks. Let's do this. Okay, just so excited about this because a lot of people have been asking for these videos and I wanted to do it, but I've only finally found out how to set up. But anyway, let's do this. So RPX, Red Pulse, big coin that I'm interested in just because of its just how it looks. Like, I know this isn't all the data. This is just what you can see off Binance chart, but from what I see, I like it. And this, I'll go into what I'm seeing at the moment and why I've got my targets set where they are. So my first target, I'll go to the 1 hour, right? And I'll draw what I'm seeing. Just mind the lag a bit. Oh, this is so exciting. Oh, nothing like a bit of crypto in your life. Anyway, so here we go. Just loading. Okay, so we're going to start with what is possibly what we could be seeing here. So let's say we draw a trend line and find some points. I'll take magnet mode off. We'll take some points that are fairly reasonable to assume. We'll make these lines just a little bit thinner. Fairly, like you can fairly say that is a line that can justify a trend. So we saw a breakout. This then became support. We bounced at the support, and now we are in a different territory. So if that's the case, we would take a line from roughly here and just kind of see whether it is justifiable. And you know what? That does look pretty good to me. We have bounced in somewhat of a wedge. We've come down and we've broken out, and I'm going to say I'm happy with that. So doesn't mean that we're not going down further. I just want to clarify like that. Like, doesn't mean we can't keep going down lower, but in the meantime, it means, well, look, we have gone down lower. So it doesn't mean anything. It just means we've broken out of the wedge. Okay, so at first, what I thought was this was a breakout. We were going to go up, especially with Bitcoin and everything doing its little bit of a jump. But I think there's a little bit of difference here, and I'll explain what I saw, which changed my opinion. Like, I've still got my targets. I still think crypto is going up in the long term, for sure. But if you know anything about Elliott waves, you'll know that ABC is a standard, or generally a 1-to-1, right? So it means the length of the first wave after retracement hits a 1. And if you look, you'll notice that if I take this line, an exact 1-to-1, and take it across, look what happens. It hit this point exactly before going down. Now, because it did this, right, I'll label it in so you get what I'm talking about. So an ABC correction is pretty much, will generally hit the 786 or the 1-to-1. Okay? So I've taken that as an ABC. And I only saw that pattern once we kind of started heading down, and I just kind of went, oh, wait, that makes sense. And like, because I've been buying this coin, I've been buying all the way since 900. Like, I've just been buying all the way down. I think the lowest I picked it up at was 725. And I've been putting on my Twitter, like, I would get on this coin because it's retraced so deep, and especially now there's all this bad news about it. I love buying coins that are bad news. Like, trust me, I love it. Anyway, that's just me. So I'll get rid of this. So I think it's pretty safe to say it's an ABC. And because that's an ABC, we're going to expect a little bit more downtime. So, or a bit more going down. I'll explain a bit. So with this, you could safely draw a trend line. Notice how we're bumping over and over and over against this trend line, and you could also say that this was also, this was like just a wedge where you break down because you go into it and you bounce through it and then you break down, and you see as it broke down, it was big breakdown. Okay, so let's say that's the case and that's where we're at. What we're seeing now is a set of impulse waves. And now I've spotted two possibilities. And I just want to clarify what these two possibilities are now, seeing as I'm such an advocate for this coin. And I swear this is where all my bags are going in this coin. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So my first possibility is this. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's a 5-wave impulse. So the way I like to justify my impulses is I check the retracement of wave 2 and I check the correlation of wave 4. So what I'll use is the retracement tool. I'll say, okay, this roughly hit the 0.5 or just under, so I'm expecting the next one to hit roughly between 0 and 5 and the 618. So we'll take it and we'll test this theory out. And if you look, it has hit roughly between the middle of these two. So as you can see, the retracements are fairly even. Like, I hope you understand that. Like, I might redo that so you understand it. So this just didn't touch the 0.5. So it's in between the 382 and the 0.5, right? So that's why I'm expecting it to be between the 0.5 and 618, because retracements generally tend to have an inversely correlating relationship. Okay, so we'll do a retracement of wave 3 to wave 4, and you can see it hit in between. That is why this is my primary count. And primary count is in the count that I think is most likely going to happen. So I'm going to say that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is totally fair count. Like, I don't know if it's right yet. Like, no one knows, but we only go off what we know for now. So let's see if I can validate this count with a trend-based Fibonacci extension. So I've taken from where I think the start of wave 1 is to the end, and I've taken it to where wave 2 ends, and it gives me the Fibonacci god of numbers, like his interpretation. And we didn't quite hit the 1618. We hit past the 1 to 1, so wave 3 is the longest, and as you can see, there's a lot of red, and as the rule goes, wave 3 is longest. So that's why I think that's wave 3. Like, I'm really thinking this is the case. So the reason we didn't touch here and we went back up can signal why this was the end. Okay, so that's my count 1, and I want you to understand that's my first count. So if wave 3 doesn't touch the 1618, then generally the wave 5 will get there, and in this case it's gone past there. So that's totally valid count. My second count, however, is this. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm even thinking 4 might be higher. I'm going to have to do the extensions. I'll show you in a sec what I'm talking about, but we'll change the color so you can see. So remember what I did in the first one. We grabbed the retracement and it just didn't hit the 5. Now if this is wave 3, means that this should roughly in here is where we will bounce to before going down. I mean, there is the possibility, if this is the case, right, there are a few points where you can make resistance points. So my first resistance point will be here, right? So I'll draw the resistance point. So if we break this line, that's what I see as resistance point 1. Yep, and what is that point? 779. So 779 is the first resistance point. So what I'm saying is, theoretically, if this light blue count is correct, then that should be the line that says if this is wave 3 and this is wave 4 cannot go higher than this blue line. If it is higher than this blue line, this count is wrong. Like, I'm just going to press the delete button. Like, that's gone. Like, that's not it. But wave 4 has the ability to retrace all the way up to this blue line. Like, we can go all the way in this area. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, this... I just want you to understand this so you guys can do this yourself, but pretty much we can go up to that area. So this is where we can go up to. But I'm going to leave it here as where I'm thinking this will go before we go down, if that count is correct. Okay, so they're the two possible counts. Now, if that is the possible counts, let's try and find out where wave 5 will end. So that'll be wave 1, wave 2. It means wave 3 did hit the 11618. I'll get rid of this. So if that is the end of wave 3, we have hit that, which means that we have the ability to reach the 2618, which puts this down to 679 is what I'm saying could be the final goal for this wave if that count is correct. 679, perfect. So I'll write that in so you can all see. That's what I'm thinking, okay, if that wave is correct. Otherwise, that could be the end and we could be going up. Who knows, but we'll see. The second point to validate is this. If we break this line up here, which I'll draw, if we make it past this line, I might just put this in pink. This is just a general resistance line. Okay, so resistance. What number is that? 823. And let's make it pink. So that is resistance 2. Okay, so I want you to understand this. If this line breaks, okay, if that line breaks, it's signaling us the possibility that the correction is over for this coin. Because if that is a valid ABC count and we're going down for an impulse wave, if we break the height of this ABC count, it means we're on an uptrend. And when I say uptrend, I don't mean we're on for another bull run, blah, blah, blah. But my target, and I'm going to stick with my target, well, it's changed now because we've gone down a bit lower, but this is how I'm aiming for my target. I'm grabbing the top, the very top of the start of this down wave, and I keep updating it, taking down to the bottom. So now 711 is the bottom. I believe this coin can head up to this target here, so I will be changing my sells as of today. 1396 is the new target. So I want to make it clear why that's my target. So if you know about Elliott waves and Fibonacci and the golden retrace, the golden number 618 is generally where things go to. That is the whole reason why I've chosen that as my point. Okay. Now, this is why I want you to know this is why I've done it. We go back here when everyone thought we were in a bull run, okay? And I found a pattern that I noticed a lot and a lot of altcoins seem to show. And this was when everyone thought we were in a bull run from March 19. So this pattern was, there was no way that we've hit a 5-wave impulse. So let me clarify. In no way could I see a fair count, in my opinion, that clarified this was an impulse wave. And it's funny because we did end up going lower. Like at first I was trying to make it happen, and yes, I was very bullish, as we all are. It just happens, you just get caught up. So let's say this is the bottom. And remember what I told you about ABC, it's a 1-to-1. So the pattern I started to see was this. And I think this is the most fair and justifiable pattern there is. Either this, and that's your A, B, C, or you would take it to this, one of these points here, maybe this one, they're probably the same, and you take it to here and you get a 1-to-1. So my opinion completely changed, and I said, well, this is an ABC, and that explains how we're going down further. Okay, so if that's the case, if that's an ABC, pretty much a 1-to-1, then we have an impulse set down, which would bring us lower, and that has happened. The only thing is, we could be going down even lower. Like it's so hard to tell, but you know, I'm still keen on this coin, and I've set my goal, and you know, if this happens, it's almost a 100% profit. And I've been only for some of my buys. Like as I said, I started buying this coin around 950, like this zone here. So I've been buying this coin, stocking up from around here. So like even if you're getting in now, you're getting like 20% discount. So that's pretty much where I started. If this drops down to 679, I will be adding more to my collection, definitely, because a different pattern could emerge. Definitely a different pattern could be amongst us, like even another trend line could have formed. You know, it always changes, and you only go off what you know. Like this could be the next trend line, something like this. So we could be looking at another bounce down, but time will tell. Like even if we break that line, that would be a good sign, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's just time, but hopefully you understand. So this is my target here, 1396. That's where you'll see my sells. You'll probably, if you go on Binance and you can look up the sells, you'll see there's a chunk there, and that'll be a bit of mine. But ultimately, if this coin, it's like the same concept here. This is the resistance. This coin breaks 823, we're going up. You know, it could either be short term, it could be another bull run. We could be going higher than this. Like you never know. But the next thing you got to look at is if we cross this line, this will be our big resistance. We cross this, then it's safe to say we're going in an uptrend. Like I will be entering buys on here for sure. But I'm not a greedy person. I mean, this is a bit greedy, but it's not that greedy. Let's be honest. It's alright. We need to make some money. We can't, you know. Anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much what I just want you to know. So that's the all-time, like that's with all the coins. You'll see what happens with Bitcoin. But yeah, this is my short-term little view for you guys. I might screenshot it, throw it up on the Twitter. And yeah, like if you have any questions or anything that, you know, anything that you're not sure about or anything, just ask. And the other thing as well, like is I've also released a book, and it explains all this. Like it literally explains all what I'm doing right now. Like, I've put in over 100 hours on this book. It's 84 pages of just knowledge that I wish I knew, because if I knew that when I started, I'd be so fired. I've even read a quote like, yeah, trust me, this is the kind of stuff you want to know now. And even if you want to continue working in trade, like, it's 100% doable. Like, you can do swing trading, and swing trading is a strategy I've even put in the book as well. Like, yeah, I just can't explain it. I've put it for $50 at the moment. Like, I think that's relatively cheap for how much you're getting. Like, I don't know how much you get paid per hour, but I tell you what, you don't get $50 for 100 hours of work. So I'm just expecting that it'll spread to lots of people and it'll even out to the hours, and that would be great, because I do want to help people, and that's why I do some of my charts. And you can look through some of my chart histories, and some of it is right, some of it's wrong, but can never always be right. But you just got to be, as I always say, you just got to be prepared for the situation. So, right now, this is what I'm preparing for. If it does happen, I'll be ready. I'll probably even buy put a buy at 685 or something, just to make sure in case it doesn't happen. I'm not, as I said, I'm not greedy. I like to be in the trade. So I might even just set a buy order here, and it's just, I get it's hard for people, especially when they've been buying like me from 950, to keep buying as it goes down, because you get scared. You go, oh, I could just keep going down and down, and you start not investing, even though it's like the perfect time to invest. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you get scared because you're in the red and you don't invest. But because you don't invest, when it bounces up like crazy again, you're back to where you are. Then you go, oh, I wish I'd put in more, and oh, now I'm at break even. But if you put more money in as it's lower, when you get back to break even, you're actually up. Like, even though you're breaking even on this, the money you put here, like if you buy this at 685 and it bounces up to 950 where I started buying, I'm up like 30 to 40%. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point of ladder buying. I go over that in the book as well. Ladder buying. It's not the most important thing, but it is awesome to do. Like, if you just buy every 50 Satoshi down, all the way down to zero, you cannot lose. Like, unless a coin really fails and like is a scam. Generally, I don't think coins on Binance are scams. But look, honestly, the way you want to do it, I just like buying on the way down. And when I see signals like on the RSI and the stock, and yeah, there's just signals, and I guess you just got to be confident as well. Like, you just got to practice and learn, read as much as you can, just keep at it, don't give up, because it's crazy. Like, it's life-changing. But anyway, that's enough talk. I'm going to end it here. Might make a video on Bitcoin soon. Possibly. It just needs a bit more time. Like, no one knows what's happening. There'd be almost no point in making a video, because it'd just be like clickbait, like just trying to get views. But anyway, all right, guys, crypto bow out. Let's fucking get rich. Let's get rich. Yeah, we all want to get rich. Yeah, catch up. Yeah, I'm out. Catch up. See ya.